Hello, everyone, and happy Thursday evening. I'm Dan Gibson, Mayor of Natchez. I'm coming to you live from City Hall. It's our Thursday night program, Natchez Renewal Live. We do this as often as we can, and I've been looking forward to being with you tonight because we want to give you a report on some things going on in Natchez on behalf of the city, but we also want to be here to answer any questions that you may have. We are excited to be just a week away from Christmas. Hope everybody's getting into the Christmas spirit. It's not hard to do right here in Natchez. All you got to do is ride through our downtown area, see our beautiful community Christmas tree, proceed on down Main Street and see the Netflix lights. One out of 6 cities across America chosen for a Christmas makeover this year. And we call it, or they call it, Netflix does, Here for the Holidays. And they're doing it to spread some Christmas cheer. And we need Christmas cheer for sure around America this year. It's been a tough year. We asked Netflix why we got chosen. We really didn't know. A designer on the project, Michael Zarensky, who was sent here to get everything up and decorated, said, well, why wouldn't it be Natchez? Truly, this is a beautiful city. And I believe we were chosen because we are an example of what's right in America today. That is where other communities have been torn apart and so much going on this year, political unrest and all. We've just had unity. We've had harmony. And we also have been a community that has persevered in spite of the pandemic. And we're managing to hold our own. Not just hold our own, but we're looking forward now to a great 2021. So yes, enjoy the lights. Don't miss the beautiful lights on the bluff. I don't know that's ever been prettier. And so many volunteers, so many have helped to get these trees lit, everything else lit. We've added some displays this year to just show more unity in our community. We actually have a Kwanzaa display on the bluff for the very first time ever. We have more displays that you'll see as you drive through, but definitely the traditional historic IP displays. And we're very grateful to our friend in the community, Mr. Burnley Cook, who restored those back in the day and still helps to keep them going. We have had security services on the bluff this year, and that's continuing, and grateful to have a firm providing that assistance to our police to provide for a safe environment. It's been a beautiful Christmas all along our bluff and in our downtown. I want to talk about some challenges tonight. Everything going so well, but yet there are challenges. And I don't want anyone to ever think the mayor's just always a Pollyanna. Yes, I'm an optimist, and I'm always going to see the cup half full rather than half empty. And so I always highlight the positive, and there's a lot to highlight. But yes, we've got some challenges. Today, I've been affected by something that happened around the noon hour, and I just have to share it. We had another shooting in our community today, and another young life was lost. Now, this is something that, it happens. It happens to communities all across America these days, and it has happened here again. We've had very few incidents of this sort this year, but any incident is one too many. And the saddest thing about this is it's a young man in a family here in Natchez. The same family was affected by crime just back in February. And I think some of you may have seen this on Tuesday night. If you didn't see the interview, it's still on our Facebook page, where we were on WTYJ with our incoming police chief, Joseph Daughtry. He will be sworn in tomorrow alongside the official public swearing in of our new fire chief, Robert Arrington. And Tuesday night, we had a meeting of our Safe City Task Force, and we went straight from there to this meeting at TYJ. We had a lot of interaction and a lot of good feedback after the program. So excited about our incoming chief. Well, he really got indoctrinated today to have to deal with this even before he's taken the oath to become our chief. He was out there with our current chief. We're so grateful for Walter Armstrong, who's about to retire. And he was out there with our police force, also our sheriff, DA, others were on the scene. And I'm just so grateful for all of the passion that was put in there today on behalf of law enforcement. Already an arrest has been made and others are expected. It is an ongoing investigation. But when I heard the news, I was in a meeting here at City Hall, and I had our city attorney here and one of our aldermen and Chief Daughtry got me on the phone and we were talking. And my first instinct was just to drop everything and drive out there. But I was told, that it's an active crime scene. A lot's going on. And it was probably best that I just stay here and not get anyone's way and add to any of the confusion. But to those of you listening who were in the area of Minor Street today, to those of you who are related to this young man, to the family, I just want to tell you that our hearts go out to you tonight. It's not the news anyone wants to get the week before Christmas. And it certainly underscores the reason that we have a Safe City Task Force. And that is that we've got to make sure these things don't occur. In appointing our task force, we actually have put 2 parents, grieving parents of young people lost to violence. They were there Tuesday night, and we listened to them, and I was able to just share love with them, because one of them will experience their first Christmas without their child, the other second Christmas. Not only that, but this very week is the anniversary, 2 years of that murder. Chief Daughtry and I talked about it, and we both have a heart for the people affected by this crime. And I want everyone to know that we will not rest until arrests are made, but also bad people are put off the street. And everyone in Natchez can feel safe. Yes, we have a low crime rate. According to the statistics, we're one of the safer cities in the state, in the region. And we've had major events this year without any incidents of crime. And there are communities in our city right now where people tell me they leave the door unlocked and they just don't worry. But we have areas where people do worry. And as long as we have anyone in our community that does not feel safe, then it affects us all. So I just had to share that, and at the appropriate time, we'll be reaching out to that family. And just know again, here at Christmas, our prayers are with you. I also want to go ahead and share something else that is a sobering fact, something that happened this week. Yesterday, I spent a good bit of the morning on the phone with our aldermen and alderwomen to let them know. When we came into office about 4 months ago, we found out right out the gate that the audit had not been done for fiscal year 17-18 and was almost 2 years behind. Well, this was about to affect grant funds for our transit system. So we immediately jumped in and we got that audit done. We devoted resources to it. a local accounting firm, Silas Simmons, did a fantastic job. Our city clerk worked so hard, and we're proud of her. We got it done October 31st, and we were able to move beyond that dilemma, and we didn't lose those grant funds, and we were so grateful. But that then meant a delayed start in getting the audit done for fiscal year 18-19. Well, we've been telling everyone that we were going to get it done, and we had gotten an extension. It was supposed to have been completed by September the 30th. Well, obviously, we couldn't do that because we were working on 17-18. So we requested an extension, and we were granted one to December 31st. And we thought we were on tap to get it done, and we found out just Tuesday evening, about 4 in the afternoon, that there were some serious problems. Nothing wrong with city finances, but just reconciliations, things, just some things that are taking time to get straight. You see, during that fiscal year 18-19, this city was without a clerk for part of that time. I believe the city went through maybe 4 or 5 different people in that office during just a short period of time. Needless to say, it's taking more time than we expected, and more time than our auditors expected, to sort out those books. So yesterday I spent a lot of time explaining to the aldermen we're not going to make that deadline. And today we got, and also speaking to our Commissioner of Transportation, Tom King, attorneys at MDOT, and we got a letter written and sent today requesting an extension. And so we hope now that we can get that audit done, hopefully by March. We'll probably have it sooner. But it's frustrating to me because I don't like being late. But I just want you to know we're transparent and we just tell it like it is. It is what it is. So we're working on it, and it's important we get it done because then we need right now to be working on getting ready for our audit for the fiscal year that just ended, which is 19-20. So if anything, it underscores the importance of staying on top of things here in the city of Natchez. And I want to tell you, it hasn't been easy, but we're going to get victory over this, and the city is going to be current. The good news is we are seeing more coming in terms of tax collections. Budget-wise, we're doing fine. We finished out last budget year balanced. We're operating under a balanced budget right now for this year. We got all that done in record time, thank goodness. And so, we're making progress. And so just stay tuned. I hope in the near future we'll be able to say that we've gotten it all worked out. We're working on it. I do want to say this. Commissioner Tom King couldn't have been more kind when I called him a couple days ago. As soon as I found this out, I felt like I needed to let that first call be to our transportation commissioner. And I've known Tom King since he was senator. Tom King, he said, the most important thing is that we're communicating. He said another thing is to realize that there are other cities that are in the same situation across the state because of COVID, and we'll work with you. But I also have to, say this. We have to get this done because, as I said a minute ago, there are grant funds on the line. And if we don't have a clean audit, then it affects us in getting MDOT grants and continue to get the grants that fund our transit authority. So I'm sharing all this with you because I want you to hear from me. Now, let's move on to happier topics. I'm very happy about a report that we've been looking at with regard to sales tax collections. Sales tax collections for October 2020 were $443,000. That's almost $40,000 more than October of 2019. And this is during a pandemic year. And it is compared to 2019 when it is said that we had the best balloon race weekend we had ever had. Wow. It just shows the resilience of Natchez. We are truly recovering here. And the Natchez Renewal is happening. At this rate, as long as we keep our economy open, everyone wears a mask, and we stay safe, our businesses will continue to do well. Our sales tax will continue to come in. And I truly believe that we will see more great activity in 2021. You know, the real estate market is hot. 1/3 less real estate than we had on the market just 4 months ago. That's how many houses have sold. We have businesses that are getting filled up. You know, the Regions Bank building, they're making great progress on that. Loss Prevention Services told us they'll be moving in pretty soon. And then once they get in and have more room, more jobs. In January, you're going to see the project begin tearing down the old A&P building, tearing up that old parking lot and putting in its place a beautiful parking facility for loss prevention. That's progress. In addition, we have announcements soon to come. I can count 3 really great business announcements that will be happening in the near future. And they all have jobs connected to them. Can't talk about them yet, but we will soon. Trust me, we're going to begin 2021 with some good news. In addition to that, we're continuing to see new business permits filed, new building permits filed. We're sitting on a record number of new building permits for this length of time, new business permits, jobs. In addition to that, several million in new construction taking place. So all of that's really good. We've gotten the new fire chief hired. We've gotten the new police chief hired. Those gentlemen, the swearing in for both will be tomorrow. We will have a special call board meeting to do that, 11 a.m. It'll be live streamed from the convention center. In addition to all that, our task forces have been meeting. We had the Safe City Task Force Tuesday, and that Safe City Task Force is great. Sheriff was there, the current chief, the incoming chief, various officers from our police department, from the sheriff's department. As I said, citizens, including these parents representing grieving families. We had our aldermen and women from our police committee there, and a few other interested citizens. We discussed lighting around town, cameras around town, a beefed up presence of police. We discussed the fact that when police are writing tickets, it cuts down on crime. When we're enforcing the noise ordinance, it cuts down on crime. And a great statistic for you, in the last 4 months, the number of tickets written for noise violations, loud music, loud cars going down the street, over 50. It's been a while since we've written that many. 250 a pop for the first offense, second even greater. Why is this a big deal? If we are enforcing the speed limits, if we're enforcing the noise ordinance, if we're cracking down on people running stop signs, running red lights, going around here with broken tail lights, well, it sends a message that we're not going to put up with stuff. And that's what we want here. We want people to know that this is a safe community, and we're going to do all we can to keep it that way. Well, that was Tuesday night. Wednesday night, we had a meeting of our Recreation Renewal Task Force. What is that? It is a task force that we put together with interested citizens to discuss what we need to do to get our parks in better shape. we need renewal in our parks like never before. So in this meeting, chaired by Valencia Hall, Alderwoman, who is our chair of the Recreation Committee. And let me back up, Sarah Carter Smith chaired the Safe City Task Force. She is the chair of our Police Committee. Well, this committee divided up into groups, and the assessment's beginning. They're going to make assessments at all the city-owned parks to see what is needed in terms of resurfacing, cleaning things up, getting better equipment, new equipment, replacing nets, replacing, whatever we need to do. Obviously, we'll then have to prioritize the list, put a price tag to it, start looking into the city budget and looking elsewhere, even grants, to see what we can do to find the funds needed to renew our parks. This evening at 4:30, we had a meeting of our job training task force, workforce development. And what was that for? Well, again, an assignment. We have citizens now working on an assessment of work-related job training programs currently being offered in Natchez, Adams County. Why is this important? Because we want to see what's being offered, and we also want to do a needs analysis to see what our industries need that's not being offered. And in the process, make the most of what we already have going and start building a program to do more. As we're doing this, we're working with the County Board of Supervisors, the school district, and Copiah Lincoln. And we're honing in on a building called the Steckler Building. It's adjacent to the high school campus, and it will be a great location for job training. We're already reaching out to professionals to help in the planning of it, and our lobbyists to help in the funding of it. And so we've gotten started. It's a great start, and we'll see where it goes. In this office, just a couple of days ago, I met with an HR professional in our community who said that job training is needed like never before. It was unreal to understand, to fill just a few positions, how many interviews this person had to conduct in order to find a qualified candidate. We actually met with another industry just a couple weeks ago who said they've got some open positions, but they're having trouble finding people in the community with the training necessary to fill those positions. In fact, they're having to go to communities outside Natchez to fill the positions. What does that tell you? It tells you that we need workforce training in a big way. I do want to say we're already having some. Colin, Alcorn, the Fallon Center, what's being done through the school, but we need more. We've already started communication. After I met with this industry a couple of weeks ago and this other one just this week, I actually made a connection with Colin to see if programs could be built to accommodate these needs. We're just starting those conversations, but I really enjoy a great friendship now with Dr. Sandra Barnes at the Natchez campus for Colin. And I can tell you, she's committed to working with us in every way we can to expand these programs and to better serve our community. While we're talking about workforce development, our lobbyists have also been working on something at our request, and we're helping them. And that is reaching out to state leaders to see what we can do to get funding back to Natchez for commercial driver's license programs. It used to be here, and then it left, the CDL program that used to be at Colin. Well, we want to get it back. And so there again, we'll be doing a needs assessment. If we can show the demand for our CDL program, and I believe it's here. After all, we're home to Jordan Carriers, one of the largest trucking companies in our region. If we can show that, then I believe we'll get the funding. And so we're working on that. Yesterday morning, we had a meeting with local legislators, either in person or via Zoom, to talk about our legislative agenda for 2021. Folks, we're only a few weeks away, and depending on COVID and how they choose to do this, the 2021 legislative session will begin. Well, in years past, Natchez has hit them with a long list. I've been there, I've seen the list. And it's kind of like going to Santa, and you give Santa a Christmas list with 20 items on it, and you get a reindeer in the headlight look back at you. We decided this year to prioritize this list and really hit them only with 2 items this year. And let me tell you what those 2 items are. Number one, we need about $1 million to finish the Bellwood Levee project down at the industrial park. Why is that so important? Because right now in this post-COVID economy we're about to be in, I think domestic production and manufacturing is going to be on the increase. I think we actually have a chance to see industry returning to Natchez and building right here. You see, China's not shipping the inventory right now. And if anything we've learned this year is we need to be less dependent on foreign countries for our goods. I understand that our military is even suffering from this. Shocked to find out that our military has been dependent on goods from China for our servicemen and women. Well, hopefully we're learning from this. We've got an opportunity to get business, industry here in Natchez, but we've got to have an industrial park that is fully functional and without portions that flood. So this levee project's been ongoing for years. Let's see that it gets finished. So that's number one on the agenda. Number two on the agenda, we need about $3 million to resurface a redesigned Morgantown Road. When I ran for mayor, I actually had some signs up that said, we're going to repair Morgantown Road. It's not just a promise, a pledge. We've got to do it, folks. It's something that affects the city and the county alike. Thousands of people travel that road. There's a school on that road. If you ride out that road at night and it's raining, well, you know, it's danger. It's an accident, a death waiting to happen. Would hate for something to happen that would cost the life of a school child, God forbid, having to walk home in a road because of conditions in that area. Portion of it's in the city, major portion in the county. And funds were available a few years ago, and then the state pulled them. So we're working to get them back. President Ricky Gray of the Board of Supervisors and myself, we recently had a meeting at MDOT with Melinda McGrath, and she kindly listened to our appeal for a better Morgantown Road. Just Monday, I actually attended, and was it Monday a week ago that Mondays roll in together lately? I actually attended the meeting of the Board of Supervisors to make a report on this. The good news is that MDOT recognizes that these improvements are needed and have expressed a willingness to, in the short term, assist us in some striping, some reflective tape, signage that will at least create a better situation. But that's not enough. We've got to get that road fixed. Now, there will be other things that we work with our legislators on, but we're going to just wait and see how things go. We're trying to look to other sources for funding of certain projects and things. And one of those is the U.S. Congress. We're waiting right now. We had hoped to have word today. Any day now we'll get word of where we stand for funding of the Forks of the Road project. This is a project that would bring parcels of land into a Forks of the Road historic district. It would become part of the Natchez National Historic Park. It'd be the only such district in the whole country. And we need this to happen. I believe we're on the verge of getting funding, significant funding. Sir Boxley here in our community, for many years, his friends of Forks of the Road, has worked tirelessly to make this happen and to bring it to the attention of us here at City Hall and Kathleen Bond at our National Parks office. She's been working with them for the last 15 years. A lot's been done already, but I believe we're right on the cusp now of getting the funds we need to absolutely make this happen. So put in a prayer for that. There are other things we're working on. I've been on the phone today, numerous calls with Viking, American Cruise Lines. We're working on our project for Under the Hill. We very much want to see these companies able to dock, docking facilities constructed, and that Silver Street area raised so that it no longer floods. We probably invested about 3 hours of today in those meetings and discussions. It's not easy. It's kind of like herding cats. You got to figure out where everybody's going to be. And we've had to engage an engineering firm to assist us in this. But we're working on it. And we're working with landowners down under the hill. Met with some today. And so we're working on that project. I want to say there's so many things happening and that we're working on that it makes the days long. And I believe night before last, I was returning calls till 10 o'clock at night. There were a few I knew were still up, and anyway, we got it done. We get a lot of calls. We get a lot of texts. We get a lot of emails. We're doing our best to keep up. But one reason we do these Facebook Live programs is so that you can reach me right here on Facebook. You got me. If you've been trying to get me, I got a few calls returned tonight. I actually almost called up Tuesday night, and I'm way behind again now. And here it is Thursday night. But we're going to take the rest of the time here to address questions, comments. We've covered a few areas here. Dustin, my partner over there, and helping promote this city. Dustin Engel, we appreciate you.
Thank you, man.
I want to do a shout out. Dustin did a beautiful video, an amazing video. If you haven't seen it, you need to watch it. It was of the Netflix lights on Main Street. And that video, along with some other videos that we posted, I think our video views are now up to
120,000 over all the channels.
120,000 over all the channels. So Natchez, we're getting some good PR. That's a good thing. It really is. Excited about it. So Dustin, thanks for all your work. Right. Do we have any questions, comments?
Lots of comments. So Nathan, go check.
Yeah. Nathan Gauthier. We want to do another shout out for Nathan's Fireworks, only locally owned fireworks stand we have in our area, set up on 61 North, just right there at Kaiser's. They've got a COVID-friendly fireworks stand, gone above and beyond to have a good inventory. Nathan, I've been so busy up here at City Hall. I know you had some questions about any other fireworks stand, making sure they're COVID compliant. We need to make sure they are. And Dustin, I let Nathan down. I was going to connect him to Nifa Hardy. And so Dustin helps me, Nathan, when I forget to do something. Dustin, let's connect Nifa to Nathan tomorrow.
No problem.
Okay, to make sure they're discussing COVID compliance. I'm real proud of Nathan and Stephanie, his wife, because they have been so conscientious. They want to make sure they're having business open the right way, the safe way. Thank you for that.
All right. Chris Barefoot says hello, Mayor.
Hey, Chris. God bless you, man.
Denise Mitchell Main Street looks awesome.
It is beautiful. Denise, we're so excited.
Yeah, Vinka Baskarjan
Yes.
says, Merry Christmas, Mayor. Congrats on getting chosen on Netflix.
Oh, thank you. Merry Christmas to you.
Angela Bruce Patterson says, Merry Christmas, Mayor.
Yes.
Trey
Merry Christmas.
Hess, Merry Christmas.
Oh, Trey. Trey, have we heard anything back from our Brownfield grant application? I hope to hear something soon. We're waiting.
All right. Christy Potter says, thanks for the update. Your transparency is so appreciated.
Appreciate you, Christy. Thank you.
Sandy Johnson Smith chimed in when you were speaking of jobs, and she said the immediate work available for HVAC trained technicians. Come to Colin to register for your training in your future.
Man, HVAC training at Colin. Great program. Thanks for that shout out.
All right.
After we do this assessment of work programs in our community, we're going to get out there so everyone will have a go-to source to know you can go here for this training. It's happening right now. So we're working on that.
Okay, Carlotta Lozana Arnsdorf.
Yes, Carlotta.
I know how lucky the city of Natchez is to have you leading them, my friend. Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Thank you, Carlotta. Merry Christmas to you, your family. Tell Beth hello.
Okay, Ronnie Brandt says we are considering moving to Natchez and we'll be there a week after Christmas. So excited for the change and joining your beautiful town.
Great, Ronnie. We look forward to welcoming you here. So many people moving here. We welcome you with open arms.
All right. Trey responded. He says, would love to come visit again in New Year for another segment on brownfield redevelopment and share more on how private sector businesses can clean up sites and get reimbursed for cleanup costs through the Mississippi Economic Redevelopment Act.
Amazing, Trey. Let's make that happen. Trey has all the knowledge to help a community clean up its act. We need to get that done. Thank you. I want to say something while we're talking about people moving in to our community. We have been getting some really good feedback lately about how people are impressed with the friendliness of Natchez. And we've known that for a long time, but we're getting a lot of feedback lately that it seems like during this COVID year when other communities have kind of soured, and that's a sad term to use, but really it's true. Ours has flourished. Ours has really bloomed. My article for the paper this week is Natchez is hustling and bustling all over the place. And so anyone looking for a city to escape to have a new start, come check us out in Natchez. Do you know that we are the only city in the Deep South now offering a remote worker incentive program? And we had a meeting Monday where we're going over the application. Our very first applicant's about getting approved. An attorney from New Orleans who's about to move to Natchez and to telecommute from Natchez, all because of our remote worker incentive program. Got his attention. Well, not all because. I mean, once he came here, he just fell in love. And what's not to love? So that's exciting. I want to also say this too, a real shout out talking about COVID friendly. I've been working real closely with the county to follow the governor's mandate. And we had an event that had been planned this weekend, a private event, and there was some, concern in the community about this event. Are they going to do it right? Are they going to be safe? Well, we put them together with Mr. Bradford. They were given the governor's mandate exactly how they needed to go about having an event. Because we told them, out of safety of the community and keeping our economy safe and open, if we, find that people are not following the mandate, then we can't support that. We've got to follow what the governor says. We got to do it right. Well, they did it by the letter. I'm speaking of a private concert event that occurred. Bands on the Bluff. It turned out it was a very small contained event because of COVID. They made sure they followed the mask mandate. They made sure they had social distancing. They made sure they had hand sanitizer available, and they made sure that they met the exact requirements for audience size in the facility they were in, and it went on without a hitch. And I've heard from numerous people who went there to check it out. Some of them skeptical, to make sure they were complying, to make sure they were safe. We had our police department involved, our fire department involved, just making sure that everyone was doing the right thing and protocols were in place. And we've gotten rave reviews. So I'm going to say to Greg Everhart and to the folks at Smoots and then the other parts of that area, hey, my hat's off to you. You showed that we can have an event, we can have it safely, and we can follow the mandates. That's the secret to our success in Natchez. Do it the right way. Well, do we have any more comments?
Yes. So Serena Bland Blackman says, "Great job you're doing for the city of
Oh,
Natchez.
thank you.
Our second year as Natchez citizens."
Wow, Serena, that's awesome.
Noreen Burns Pyron,
Yes.
will Natchez get to keep the lights on Main Street, or will Netflix come and take them down? Merry
Noreen,
Christmas.
we've been talking to Netflix, and they have agreed to let us keep the lights. So that's really exciting. Their installer, Blue Revolver, will be here mid-January. On what it will cost for you to come to Natchez future Christmases and put them back up for us. And we're waiting to see what their reply is. Our hope is that we can find businesses and individuals, organizations in our community that will agree to sponsor this display in years to come. And we will be able to show their names lit in that area and thanking them for their sponsorship. So Noreen, we get to keep the lights, and it is our hope that we'll be able to continue this display and make it a permanent part of our Christmas in Natchez experience.
Ronnie Brandt mentioned that's a huge incentive for us to leave Dallas too.
Wow, Ronnie. Well, come on to Natchez. I can tell you what, you'll be amazed at what you can buy in Natchez compared to Dallas. I bet you can buy a mansion for what you buy for a little cracker box in Dallas. Not to mention, no commute. And when the workday is done, just walk downstairs, join somebody at one of our great restaurants, and enjoy all that Natchez has to offer. You know, another comment we're getting from visitors, and we're getting this comment a lot. They're amazed at how much there is to do in Natchez, not only during a pandemic time, but during a time where, you know, this is a small town, a small city. And they said, it's amazing how many restaurants and things you offer and things to do for a city your size. We're really excited about that.
Christy Potter has a question. It says, with recent weather and a wet year, the natural gullies, buoys, I think,
Yeah.
here in town, is eroding away some.
Oh,
who can I address this to?
Christy, that has been a real issue here for us. And I just had a meeting yesterday right here in this office with our Public Works Director, Justin Dollar, to go over this. We had a terrible rain event right at the Friday after Thanksgiving. It was, Black Friday. Well, it was a Black Friday here because the skies were so dark and there was so much rain. We're still dealing with those issues. It brought about some washouts. In addition, it revealed to us that there were stopped up drains all over town, especially downtown. And we had crews out that day trying to get these drains clear, still working on it. And we've actually been running some cameras down some drains, looking for obstructions, see what can be done. Now, with regard to erosion, we have been out assessing the situation. We are a city that is prone to erosion anyway. At any given time, we have right now several $1 million in EWP projects. These are projects that deal with the watershed funds available to us, being that we are a river community. And these funds, federal funds combined with city funds and some private funds, go to help with erosion projects. Well, we're having to work up a new list because we have these problems. So reach out to us if you have an erosion concern. We'll make sure you get added to the list and that it gets looked at. Now, in some areas, we're very limited in what we can do. We're very limited when it comes to what we can do on private property, and we have to, look at all that. But when it is a tremendous erosion issue that potentially affects multiple properties and could jeopardize our bluff or could jeopardize properties along the bayou and other areas, we can definitely look at it. Don't hesitate to call your alderman. That's why they're there. And we encourage people to call their alderman. And we have 6 hardworking aldermen. And hey, make sure you're in touch with them.
Minister Clarence White says, thank you to the city of Natchez, Mississippi for all the hard work that you have put in all aspects of keeping this city moving forward. Go Team Natchez.
Go Team Natchez. And also happy birthday to you, Minister Clarence. We appreciate you, and I hope you and Linda have both enjoyed a great birthday week.
Carol Peterman Jones says, my goodness, thank you for all your hard work and your team. We're lucky to have all of you.
Thank you, Carol. Thank you. We love you, and we love Natchez. So grateful for what is going on here.
Serena Bland Blackman says, great job you're doing for the city of Natchez. Our second year. That's right. I think I read that.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Hey, we'll listen to it again.
It keeps going down.
I like the good stuff.
I'm trying to keep up with all of them.
It's good to hear the good things because sometimes we hear the not so good things. I'll give you an example. Among my phone calls Tuesday night, I made one phone call to a gentleman who said, the only reason I was calling was to encourage you and to tell you you're doing a great job. You don't know me, but I'm just grateful for what you're doing. I said, man, that's great. That's great. I could hardly get off the phone because he was so busy just thanking me. That felt good. And then the very next call, I couldn't get off the phone because the person was so busy telling me everything that we weren't getting done. And I said, well, I'm sorry. We'll try our best. We're trying our best. I know Harry Truman once said, you just never please everybody all the time. I know my mother said that, but I promise you this, we're going to give it every day the best effort we can and always try to stay in touch with you. And so we do appreciate those kind comments.
All right. Lacey Schmidt says, so glad to see you're working with Dr. Barnes, a Co-Lin Natchez VP. The Natchez campus has a lot to offer. As President Dr. Hulan Sim says, Co-Lin is the place to be.
Amen. Co-Lin is the place to be. And I had a great relationship with Co-Lin way back when I was mayor of Crystal Springs and got to know back then Dr. Timms, who was the president back in the day. And I think I've known every president since. And I used to do some volunteer teaching on the Co-Lin campus there at Wesson. What a great asset to our community. And let me do a shout out. Our school district, Co-Lin, have a great history of partnering on great programs. Our Natchez Early College program, #1 program, I think, in the country this year. Well, we can't wait to see what happens when the school district, Co-Lin, partner on this job training program that we have in mind.
All right. Esther Felter Staffers, I need to ride downtown to look. Thanks for all the volunteers.
Yes, thank you.
Linda J. Gardner says, appreciate the extra time you take for updates via Facebook. Shout out to you and staff at the Natchez CVB and helping tourism in the whole Mistlou area.
Oh, listen, thank you. Speaking of CVB, I had the pleasure of sitting in on the board meeting yesterday of NCPC, the Natchez Convention and Promotion Commission, and that is Visit Natchez. It was so exciting. People don't realize just how hard Visit Natchez, our CVB, has been working behind the scenes to promote our city during this pandemic year. They were successful in getting $500,000, our lobbyists, Greg Harper, Manny McPhillips, even before they became our lobbyists, helped Visit Natchez get this money, $500,000. And they've been using that money to promote Natchez during this pandemic as a safe tour destination. I truly believe that that's one of the reasons we're seeing such great results and such an increase in tourism during a time when people thought that we would be just closing down. And so I just want a shout out to our acting director, Lindsay Smith, and all the members of that staff, and Lance Harris, chairman of that board, and all of our commissioners. Keep it up. We're working together, and we're doing together all we can for Natchez. While we're talking about groups and people and working with others, I want to say I'm really enjoying a relationship with Natchez Inc. right now. Chandler Russ, this is actually our second time around. When I was mayor of Crystal Springs over 20 years ago, Chandler was just starting out as an economic developer, and he was working there in Copiah County. Well, we actually met today with an industrial prospect just this morning, an exciting meeting. We had a meeting Monday afternoon talking about some exciting projects, and we also had a great meeting yesterday morning with some of our legislators, again talking about some exciting things. So Chandler, Heather, Amy, your whole crew, your board, we just, Pat Big Lane at Concordia Bank and Sue Stedman at Crylike, we just appreciate Natchez Inc. and what a fantastic team we're making for Natchez. As I said, we're going to have some major announcements in 2021. Can't talk about them yet, but we will soon. Some great things on the horizon.
Yeah, we lost the phone. The phone died on us on on your personal page, so they're moving over to the other side.
Oh gosh, I tell you, my phone is worn out. I've been wearing it out today. Well, we're probably out of time. I don't know how long we've been going.
55 minutes.
Oh my gosh, that's a record.
They're loyal.
Oh gosh, thank you for hanging in there with us. Are there any questions?
That's
anymore?
it. We're clear right now.
We're done.
I apologize to everybody on the page and told them they can go over to the city page to follow us all the time as well.
There you go. God bless you. We'll be back with you next week for a special program. We will be shouting out to you a Merry Christmas, and now to all a good night. Thank you.